This Real Housewives star was just arrested for insurance fraud after she was caught doing an interview about an alleged burglary wearing the ring that she claimed was stolen. Now, if you pay a little bit of attention to reality TV, you probably know that the Real Housewives stars are no strangers to ending up in legal troubles. But the people we're talking about today, Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie Osefo, just got arrested for insurance fraud. And the way they were caught is just such a massive skill issue that I kind of had to cover it because this is just the pinnacle of laughably stupid. And now they're coming out and claiming that they were arrested illegally. So this will definitely be interesting. They're also demanding all evidence to be suppressed. So I'm pretty interested in seeing what is going to happen now. Because, I mean, just by looking at the publicly available evidence, it's safe to say it's not looking great for them. But just a little bit of background on the people we're talking about today. Wendy is a 41-year-old Nigerian-American political commentator. She's also a PhD holder and probably most well known to the general public for a spot on The Real Housewives of Potomac.
People like you call me Dr. Wendy. Address me correctly, Wendy. Sweetie.
Having a PhD, less than 2% of the world has that.
And her partner in crime, pun intended, is her husband, Edward, or Eddie Osefo. He's also an attorney and self-described serial entrepreneur, according to his Instagram bio. And this case definitely doesn't help the whole entrepreneur in bio stigma, because I don't know why. There's just a big correlation when it comes to people with entrepreneur in their Instagram bio and being arrested for scamming. Then, I mean, on top of that, the fact that he's also an attorney makes the story even crazier, because he knows the law. I guess he could, in theory, think that he knows it enough to try to bend the law a little bit. Clearly, they weren't that bright, but hey, we'll get into that later on. But on October 9th, a grand jury indicted Wendy on insurance fraud, conspiracy insurance fraud, and false statements to police officers. Both Wendy and Eddie were taken into custody on Thursday and released the next day after posting a $50,000 bond each. Wendy faces a total of 16 charges, while Eddie is facing 18 charges himself. So what happened for both of them to rack up over 36 charges between the two of them? Well, back in April 2024, the couple reported a burglary after returning home from a vacation to Jamaica. Wendy claimed that several designer bags were stolen alongside of expensive jewelry and other various items. By the time they totaled up all the alleged stolen items, they had signed statements claiming $2,500 for the building and $450,000 in property. But they started to raise some eyebrows when Eddie went back to his original claim submitted on April 8th, which he declared that he and Wendy were both wearing their anniversary bands when the burglary occurred. Because 2 days later, Eddie called the insurance company back and said he needed to update the claim because Wendy's anniversary band supposedly had been stolen after all. I mean, one would think that would be one of the first things you would notice if that was actually stolen, but who knows? But that same day, Travelers Insurance settled the claim for $25,000, which included $4,500 to replace the anniversary band. But this claim being settled did not stop Wendy and Eddie from submitting a second claim to Jewelers Mutual Insurance regarding the exact same burglary. And get this, they provided the insurance company with a list of 57 stolen items, with one of them being Wendy's gold anniversary band. Yes, the one they've already got paid out by another insurance company to replace. And not only that, but when Eddie was interviewed on April 22nd, 2024, he made no mention of the other claim and the subsequent payout from Travelers Insurance. But apparently, authorities were already suspicious about the circumstances of the burglary. Take, for instance, the total lack of any signs of forced entry into the home.
Patrol deputies and detectives found no signs of forced entry or physical evidence of a burglary, such as footprints, fingerprints, or any entry point.
And the fact that their ADT security system and Ring cameras both showed no signs of activity except for an Amazon driver.
It should be noted that the residence does have interior and exterior surveillance cameras. None of the cameras picked up any motion or indicated a breach inside of the house. Cameras also did not pick up any suspicious activity outside of the residence during the time the Osefos were away from the residence. Detectives also checked surveillance cameras from neighbors. No evidence of a break-in or suspicious activity was noted at the Osefos' residence.
So naturally, this led them to dig into the couple's emails and social media accounts, as well as records from the various stores which the stolen items were purchased. And this investigation determined that a number of these items that were reported stolen were actually items the couple had purchased and then returned to the store for a full refund. And this wasn't like right before the burglary. No, some were actually years before the date of the alleged burglary. And I mean, this is just outrageous because here you have a 1400 Dior shirt that was listed as stolen, and that was actually returned on January 14th, 2023, more than a year before the burglary happened. Then you had a Gucci wallet that was purchased in 2018, and then they refunded it for $948 the same year. Just 2 weeks after buying it, but they still place that as being stolen. Like, were these two just planning that far in advance that they kept records of every expensive item they ever bought? I mean, I find it very hard to believe that you forgot that you returned something 6 years prior and just assume it was stolen. And not only that, but Wendy was posting on Instagram wearing the stolen band. And I mean, it's not even like one single slip up here. No, she was just rocking it all the time. Like, you have all these photos of her wearing the band. And it seems like that was what got her caught, because she reported her ring as stolen and she wouldn't stop wearing the thing. Clearly, you do not get situational awareness from getting a PhD, because you would think these people would be a little bit too smart to be doing something like that. But I guess not, because, you know, PhD, attorney, somehow committing one of the dumbest crimes I've seen in a while. Like, this is just way too brazen. It's so out. They're public figures and they're wearing the items that are stolen. Come on. I'm just trying to figure out what the thought process behind all this was. And the even crazier part is the deputies actually obtained email records that found on April 12th on 2024, Eddie emailed a list of stolen items to Wendy and asked if there was any more additional high value items that we can add to the inventory. Sorry, I'm not even full of the sentence. It's just so ridiculous. But it then goes on to say, I'm trying to get the total to exceed over $423,000, which is our policy maximum. Did you really just email that? Are you serious? I have a feeling that discovery in this case is going to be even crazier. So yeah, obviously, that's a terrible look. Openly admitting that you're trying to reach the maximum amount of your policy, that doesn't look good for them at all. Like, why would you ever send this as an email and create a paper trail? Honestly, it's unbelievable this guy is an attorney and thought this was a great idea. So when the Osefos were arrested and authorities executed a search warrant and seized like a bunch of the stuff from their home, guess what? They found at least 15 items that appeared to be the same ones that they claimed to be stolen during the alleged burglary. So at this point, things are looking really bad for Wendy and Eddie. And like I said, it took them less than a day to post their $50,000 bail each and get released. But since they are reality TV stars, the news obviously spread like wildfire. The initial statement released by the representative for the couple said that Dr. Wendy Osefo and her husband, Edward Osefo, are back home safely with their family and are in good spirits. They are grateful for the outpouring of concern from support of fans and family and colleagues, and the Osefos, alongside of their legal team, look forward to their day in court. At this time, they respectfully ask for privacy as they focus on their family and legal process ahead. Well, they have quite the legal uphill battle. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of information they pull out to, I guess, try to back this up. Because this case looks pretty much like a slam dunk to me, but hey, I'm no legal expert. But now, the tone of the couple has kind of changed, because on October 17th, court documents were filed by the Osefos' lawyer demanding all charges to be dismissed due to the alleged defects in the charging document. So now, they're on the offense. And it's safe to say that, honestly, is just going to make court way more interesting. She also demanded all evidence to be suppressed because of an unlawful search and seizure, and also for all the wire and verbal communications to be suppressed because of an unlawful interception. So Wendy is essentially accusing the police of an illegal arrest and is trying to turn the tables back onto them. In a separate filing, Wendy's lawyer demanded all prosecutors to turn over any alleged evidence, and she demanded a list of all witnesses the prosecutors plan to call and any polygraph results of witnesses questioned by law enforcement. Wendy also wanted to know if the prosecutors had any confidential informants who worked along the investigation, and asked for copies of all official police reports. And on October 19th, Wendy broke her silence on social media after the arrest. And here she wrote on Instagram, "And through it all, God remains faithful. Thank you for all the outpouring of love, support, and prayers for myself and most importantly, my family during this time. We are forever grateful." Tune into Bravo TV tonight for a new episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. I mean, hey, she's just doing her job. And ironically, when these stars get into drama like this, the pay goes up dramatically because a lot more attention is on the show. And that's just how reality stars work. That's kind of why you have this like odd incentivization for reality TV stars to get into trouble. Because at the end of the day, when more attention's on them, they get paid more. But it seems like she's going to need all the thoughts and prayers that she can ever get, because Carroll County's state attorney, Haven Shoemaker, told reporters that the next hearing on this case is going to be on November 7th. So it seems like we're not actually going to have to wait too long to find out what's going to happen with the fraud charges or Wendy's allegations here, since hopefully most of it will be addressed during that scheduled hearing. But I'll definitely keep my eyes on this one because I feel like this is going to be a pretty interesting case. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe for new updates. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.